Well, it's official. Jesse blew himself, and this is the only time this probably doesn't work.
Maybe blue, but it's a bomb.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a dookie in there, probably. So
Yeah.
let's talk about it.
It was a crappy day.
Yeah, to say the least. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Almost Sideshow. My name is Adam, and this is the episode of Breaking Down Breaking
Maybe
Bad.
blue, but it's a bomb.
And it is certainly the bomb. And I'm with Captain America himself. He's over here. That's Terry. What's going on? Break down a Breaking Bad. Thank you. I was like,
fallacies, the fallacies, the fallacies, the fallacies. I'm all in it for
you're in it to win.
Twat hammer.
Sounded better than Jesse, guys. What the heck's going on over here? Pause, I guess. Nice phone. Well, anyway,
this is going downhill quick.
You should just keep that in for the audio.
I don't know why we do these.
Sorry, right. You'll go back to hosting. All right. Yeah, so like Twat Hammer, we're going to rise to stardom and power through this episode. Like
very nice.
Yeah,
very nice.
Woo! Saved my mistake. Anyway, I'm really excited to break down this episode of Breaking Bad. Season 2, episode 4. I always want to get them backwards for some reason. This is down. I guess going downhill quick because that actually kind of works here.
Yeah. This is an interesting episode because you feel like everything is kind of settling in, and then
this is going downhill quick.
Yeah, a lot of bummerness that happens with these characters today.
So that was a disaster.
Yeah,
I'm just making a mockery of myself today.
Should we just hop into this? Should we do this?
I'm nodding my head yes for this.
Nodding your head. Way to talk through your visual gag on the audio medium again. All right.
Why I'm here, folks.
Oh, I have that one here somewhere too. Where'd it go? Oh, now I gotta pay it off. This is happening.
We're not actually talking about it.
Yeah, we are actually talking about it. It's gone. It's here somewhere.
Oh, I forgot about this.
Yeah, that's the wrong one. Anyways, I'll find it eventually.
That's why I'm here, folks.
I know, it's here. I just can't.
Oh boy, we might need to cut this out.
Yeah. we won't. There it is.
That's why I'm here, folks.
There it is. All right. Well, now that little anticlimactic moment has passed, let's break down Breaking Bad. Our summary. Here we are, Season 2, Episode 4. This episode is entitled Down. Things appear to be calming down, but looks can be deceptive. Jesse is running into some trouble. With the DEA confiscating his duffel bag of cash, he has little money to work with, and Walt is unwilling to part with much of his. Then he finds out his parents are evicting him from his house. Even though Jesse was under the impression that the house was his parents maintained ownership, and thanks to a DEA visit and a meth lab in the basement, they decide it's time to kick Jesse out. No friends have room. His motorcycle gets stolen. He has nowhere to go. His last option is breaking into the lot where the RV is being stored and crashing inside, after crashing through the roof of a portable toilet. In the morning, Clovis kicks him out since he has no money and starts making calls to sell the supplies inside. Jesse breaks back in, steals the RV, and breaks the gate as he drives off. The only place he knows he can park it is outside Walt's house. Walt. He's trying hard to make up for his supposed fugue state. He is making fancy breakfasts, giving free driving lessons, but it isn't working. Walter Jr. has changed his name to Flynn, and Skyler decides to give Walt a taste of his own medicine by leaving the house for hours with no explanation of where she's going. When Walt has had enough, he tries to have a heart-to-heart and apologize for everything. But Skylar won't be satisfied until he admits there was a second cell phone. Skylar goes off and gives in to temptation, lighting up a cigarette. While Walt tries to stop Skylar from driving off, he spots the RV and freaks out on a blue Jesse in more ways than one. When Jesse has had enough, he starts an all-out brawl with Mr. White. Eventually, they both give up. Walt lets him inside and gives Jesse half the funds he has. Oh, and what's with the burnt pink bear? That is our summary.
Does his house blow up? Because that's the only place that has a pool so far. We know they have a backyard with a pool, but we don't know if they have a garage. He's mentioned the garage, but we haven't seen it yet, so I will still deny that he has a garage.
We've seen the outside. There's an outside to the garage.
Oh, that is true. That is true.
All right, what'd you think?
Yeah, this is a bummer, man. A bummer. It's a bummer, man. It's a bummer. That's what it is. This whole episode is kind of a bummer, but in the best ways, because we see these characters try to make up for some lost time with Walt, and feeling the hardness of some bad times with Jesse and his family. I do feel bad for Jesse's character here because of kind of burning a lot of bridges with like his parents, and I did not expect the DEA thing to come around and kind of bite Pinkman in the butt, but it works out well here, and it totally makes sense to why they would cut him off, because they actually go back to the house and come to find out they have a key to the house that his aunt left him, and seeing a little bit of his parents and his mom there, I was interesting, and that is it's good to see these characters kind of have some anti-hero moments, like these big awesome moments that make us cheer for them, but also have some moments where like, yeah, I can see where the other person's perspective is coming from. So I kind of I like this episode. Probably not my favorite episode of the season, because Tuco's in some episodes this season, but it is very interesting, especially with the Clovis phone call. What will happen? Dun dun dun.
Tight, yeah.
He is being missed for sure.
He is. This is a good episode. Like I said at the beginning, it's kind of weird because you feel like everything is winding down, because you just came off this huge high of the Tuco bit, and then the fallout from that, and him pulling off the cover story and everything. But life has to go on, and there's some serious consequences to everything that just happened, and we finally get to see some of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of a mess. Jesse definitely is a mess, and like you said, you can definitely see where every character is coming from. Like, this is not something where you look at it and say, this is this person's being unreasonable. It all makes sense, and Jesse's kind of made the bet. He's forced the lie in here a little bit, but it also is kind of a bummer at the same time for everybody.
Because you like Walt and you like Jesse, but at the same time they're getting a taste of their own kind of medicine in a way too. Some tough love, as it were.
Yeah. All right. What's the best scene?
I really like the ending scene with Walt and Skylar, that kind of big confrontation. But specifically the one I want to talk about, though, could be a midlife crisis, or anybody who's in a relationship can probably relate to this one, is when Skylar does come home and Walt's asking him questions. She's like, yeah, I'm fine. Yeah. And they walk in the room. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. And you can just start seeing like Walt break down a little bit right there. And that eventually gets him to apologize. Half-assed apology at the end, maybe. It's just in Skylar's mind. But that's the scene that's like, it's really relatable, because at the same time, it's like, people need their space, and also what Skylar's doing is getting space, but also, kind of returning that medicine that Walt's been serving for a long time now, and giving him that kind of tough love. It's like, I'm not going to answer you. And I same thing with like in me and my wife too. It's like I might have frustrated her in something, and she just needs her space, and I'm just maybe not giving as much space as I should. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? She's like, oh, fine. And I was like, are you okay? Can we talk? No, not yet. no. And it's just like, it drives me because I'm a fixer, and she needs her space at times. And I was like, I'm this little hard headed to get it through my head. So I just give her space. It's gonna be fixed after that. But yeah, I was like, that was such a relatable scene that it's not really midlife crisis because it's a relationship issue, but it's like that was like kind of my scene that's like, oh, perfect. I see what Skylar's doing, and yeah, that is it's really good to see like that relationship thing and Skylar actually really coming through and really shining in this episode a lot for me. So I really liked it.
Yeah, and he almost had it. Like she was starting to warm up to him after that first breakfast that they had, and then
That's my alarm.
yeah, it's like, oh yeah, and just offhand, I was thinking about that whole second cell phone thing. It's like, and it's over, and it's
Mhm.
over. She told, and it's like, oh, you're just doing all this to try and make up for all the stuff that you did. No, not gonna do it. And that's
Pretty
when she
much.
just walks out the door, which is also another great scene. Yeah, I had
Yeah.
a couple written down, and one of them was that closing scene with Walt and Skyler,
Mhm.
and especially how he holds his ground, and he just looks at her, apologize for what? It's like, ooh, like that's the most like cold-blooded thing he's done so far. Like stared her dead in the eyes and says, "There is nothing else I have to apologize for." And yeah, that it's just a great moment. The other one I had written down is Jesse's break-in. Um, because it is a perfect way to show, let's just add some insult to injury here. Let's make this go as horribly as possible. And he makes it through the barbed wire fence and then onto the porta potty, which just, I mean, I'm sure you could attest to those roofs are not supposed to hold a full human's body weight. Would you say that's a fair statement?
I don't want to talk about it right now.
You don't want to talk about it right now.
No, they do not hold people's bodies. Too. So, but I'll expand more on my thoughts. But they don't hold people's can't hold people.
So
Yeah, good stuff. Stay tuned, as it were.
yeah, It, but yeah. So you go through all that to the point that for him to even have a chance to fall asleep, he's got to put the gas mask on. I mean, he hit as rock bottom as he possibly could, and they do everything to make sure that we see that, and it's just,
Mhm.
it's comical, but also it's the moment where you just are like, oh man, this really sucks.
Mhm. Yeah, it's pretty dang awesome to see how low he got. But at the same time, he goes back into the midst of it and actually steals the RV, which is pretty clutch, actually. So,
Yeah, yeah.
which tells like Clovis is like a horrible listener. Like he was not listening to anything at all on that, which is funny.
So this goes into the next category because Ken wins douchebag award. For me goes to Clovis.
Hmm.
Because I mean, he could have had a little, like, he's the one of everyone that Jesse encounters. You're like, okay, you you could have had a little compassion here. You could have given him just one more chance. And listen, I mean, this is definitely extenuating circumstances, but at the same time, you're like, well, yeah, I'm sure he probably has seen some extenuating circumstances and gets burned by them. There's a reason he is a successful businessman.
But you don't
But
understand. Jesse's word is his bond.
yeah, man, his word is his bond. He's a stand-up dude. Yeah.
Badger was
So
missed in this episode, though.
he was, and well, he Badger didn't have room for him. How does Badger not have room for him? I mean, come on.
Well, that is a good point.
Badger, Skinny Pete, you know that one of them had to be like, "Oh yeah, I got a spot on my floor. I just got to
Not
move my
even.
bong."
Yeah, my bong. I got this bong room here, man.
I mean, yeah, man, I could have totally had you over, but oh man, sorry. That's my Skinny Pete.
It's good.
What about you? Who's your
Uh,
Ken wins?
Ken wins. So originally, I thought like seeing Miss Pinkman as well. Because at first I didn't realize it was like the gig was up after 3 days. I thought he just like kind of showed up at the house and started taking stuff. And then he's when I saw him start taking stuff, I thought like immediately he's like, yep, okay, time must be over. And then she slaps him. So you have to add that to the scoreboard. But then I was like, no,
Yes,
no.
I hadn't done that, but I will.
So I was like, no, maybe not you. Walt, I had down as a thought as well. Because it's like, yeah, he was kind of doing his thing, trying to kind of manipulate the situation, trying to make it. But I'm gonna go with probably one of my favorite, Wino, the homeless guy, who clearly, like, this could be a flaw too. How did Jesse not hear them steal his bike?
Right.
But at the same time, Wino saw what happened. Like, yo, man, somebody stole your bike.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, come on, man. You could at least, hey, buddy, Captain America, they're selling your bike.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good call. That is a good call.
Mhm.
I like it. What about the pink man, stick man?
The blue man, stick man. Okay, the blue man group. His buddy P, because he
Yeah.
didn't have a kid.
Paul. His name is Paul.
Yeah, Paul.
Which we find out once the wife gets home.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wrote down Paul, who I said there's a version of this show where Paul is played by Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, that's a
Can't you see
great
him
call.
on that base doing that in the striped polo?
Mhm.
Mhm. The other one I have is Jesse, because things are pretty hectic out there female wise.
Yeah, pretty great.
Which
That's
is
good.
also one of the dumbest things said in the episode.
Yeah, that is true. Actually, I thought of a douchebag for this episode.
Mm.
It's Flynn, his Walter Jr.'s alter ego, Flynn. He just has like the hair down, like I'm Flynn. He does his hair weird. Yeah. I don't know. But cool. Good on for Flynn. New character, new face.
Yeah.
Familiar face of the episode goes to Flynn because he looks so familiar for some reason.
He looks so familiar. Well, all right. So best new face. On a similar note, my best new face is Lewis, because we've heard a lot about Lewis, but this is the first time we've seen him. Showing up at the door, knocking at the door, and he had to knock at the door because he had to be like, "Is Flynn here?" It's like, "Who's Flynn?" Your son.
Your son.
Yeah. So that, I thought that was pretty good, and I mean, borderline douchebag too, because who wouldn't want a New Mexican Christmas omelet? I mean, that just
Green and
sounds
red
delicious.
peppers. Yeah.
Green and red peppers with some onions. I mean,
It looked really good. It's probably on par with those grilled burritos.
He was doing a good job, except he just left it burning there, so it turned out horrible, I'm sure, and he threw it all away.
Yeah, that's true. My new face. I'm probably gonna go with. No, we've seen Clovis before. Why did I write that down?
Clovis before.
Oh yeah, because I thought there was a line that Clovis. That's mine early. I'll bring it up in a second. Yeah, I like Wino. I think that the homeless guy who's been brought up to, played by Argo's Malcolm or something like that. Yeah, he was super. Just funny. Like definitely, if this was like, it could have been Cheech Marin or something like that, or Chong, or like one of those Cheech or Chong characters. It would have been pretty funny to see him in there. But yeah, Wino, played by Argus by the 7-Eleven homeless guy. Pretty funny.
Yeah, it's a good one. The other one I was thinking of was the attorney for the Pinkmans.
Oh yeah, it's a good one too.
All right, who's your favorite minor character?
Clovis, because he's like, don't think I won't split you, with a shotgun pointed right at him. I thought that was a pretty funny line that he had. But I'm also gonna go with my Paul. I think Paul's kind of funny too, because now that you got Matthew Lillard in my head, I think that's a great call. But he's like, "Oh, buddy, you're gonna hate me for this, but I totally forgot the in-laws were coming." So I think minor character could be his in-laws, even though we already know it's his wife. He's like, "Get him out of here. I do not want that guy around my kid," which proves the fact. Why did they leave without taking the kid in at the first place? So you don't want him there, but you're gonna trust your kid to be in the room for like a minute, like 30 seconds to a minute with him. kind of not the best parenting because I was.
I used to hate carrots too.
That was probably some really good advice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good call. That's definitely a flaw in the episode,
Yeah.
or at least a flaw in their parenting.
Yeah, that is true.
My favorite minor characters are the moving crew.
Because he takes up the phone, the telephone.
It's the best moment of the episode. Is he gets off the phone and they immediately unplug it and walk away with it. It's like, you forgot.
Okay, thanks.
You forgot your ice trays.
It's a good one. I love it.
Yeah. All right. The cow house dumbest thing said.
Speaking of ice trays, so it goes with the ice trays. Like, you forgot about your ice trays, and he throws the ice trays. It brought me back. Have you seen the movie True Lies with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Oh, dang it! This is not going to be funny to you. Tom Arnold's in it, right? And he's like, "Don't worry about her," because Jamie Lee Curtis and Arnold are kind of like there's trouble in their relationship. But Tom Arnold's like, "Don't worry about her, man. There's plenty of women out there. Like my ex, she took everything from the house, just took them all. She even took the ice trays. What sick son of a bitch takes the ice trays?" And it's like the movie company just took the ice trays. So great job, Jesse.
Maybe that's a shout out to True Lies. You never know.
There we go. Go watch True Lies. James Cameron needs to put that on 4K. There we go.
There we go.
I also like the line. Probably my favorite line is, "My house situation is testicular." Don't know what that means, but I'm pretty sure that's just reference to his stickmanness. Yeah.
Yes, I think that's fair. Yeah. So like I said, pretty hectic out there female wise. I thought was a pretty dumb thing.
Yeah.
But then the other dumb thing Walt says when he's trying to cover up that Jesse's on the phone. Oh, we're happy with our cable provider, right? As Skylar is walking out the door. Yeah, that was. But if you interpret this as the thing that exasperates Walt the most, like the look of pure like dumbfoundness on his face when he realizes the RV is parked outside the house. That is the
definition of what this is.
That is the definition of what this is. So it's not that anything said. It's just the fact that
the look.
What the hell is that doing here?
And I think all dads can really like understand that look because it's like, what are you thinking? Like,
were you thinking?
Yeah. But yeah, I think
the answer is no.
No, you weren't. It's good.
All right. Did you find any outdated stuff besides Jesse's landline telephone?
The landline telephone. Yeah, well, and also I guess the whites have a landline too, technically.
Yes, but he has a corded like pea green like that thing is like from the 70s.
That's his aunt's house, so that's why probably.
It's true.
All right. So we're talking about flaws, right? Mm-hmm. We got to go to Clovis's math here. Clovis's math. Okay, he said $750 for the repair and $250 for the crapper. Maybe back when this episode was back. Now, if a toilet is damaged like that and it's a total loss, unless you have a damage waiver, which is a little extra on your bill every month, if he had that, we would have brought you a toilet, no questions asked. AAA this plumbing company probably doesn't have that. So $250 is pretty low. If one of our toilets get burnt down without a damage waiver, $980 is what you're going to be paying.
Oh,
so get the insurance, folks. So yeah, $250 is pretty low. So you get what you pay for. And also, speaking of this scene again, he fell through the roof, right? Totally not a flaw there. He fell in the tank and broke it, supposedly, and a bunch of blue water came out. That toilet was just serviced. There was nothing in there that indicated that thing was used. It's just he was grossed out because the idea of something in there. It was all blue water. It's just the chemical they use. And I'm sorry, this is just me breaking stuff down for the sake of breaking down.
So Clovis lives on site. Mm-hmm. Like he has a house.
He definitely has. It's probably definitely used, but
no. I'm thinking he has to have plumbing in there. Why would he have to have a toilet for the lot?
Maybe people come in and get their stuff, and that I've seen many of like companies like that. Like there's an indoor restroom, they have to have something in like a lot at least.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I don't know. But then, and we're going back to being blue. He clearly is making footmarks in the lot to the RV, but never leaves any footprints in the house with the white carpet. He said, "Don't touch anything," but you could see where he previously has stepped in the episode, and there's no blue footprints.
Yeah, you'd think maybe it's like worn off enough at that point that
Possibly, but yes, it's just a funny thought.
it is a funny thought.
I couldn't focus on anything but the toilet. That was what I had to do. So
You just gotta with Jesse in this episode. You just gotta bust out some Eiffel 65. Blew his house with the blue little window and the blue
blue
Corvette,
Corvette
and everything is blue for him.
and
Yep.
himself. I'm blue. If I was green, I would die. Okay, God, wow. Sorry.
You just went to some alternate lyrics there.
Yeah.
Okay. What is our midlife crisis moment?
If it was true that he didn't know how to use his alarm clock, that definitely on his cell phone, that definitely would be something midlife crisis.
Oh, by the way, in that moment when he's trying to explain that, and he's like, "Oh yeah, the alarm is the same noise." Did you see what he started doing? Did you? Ah,
Oh, he did that thing again.
he did the thing that he was complaining that their old professor used to do. It's just a Bryan Cranston thing.
Yeah, that's good. I liked it. Not knowing any current. Oh, yeah, not knowing any current bands. The debate with him and Walter Jr. It's like you don't even know any current bands. He's like, yeah, maybe so.
I almost put as my banner. I also don't know who Boss Skaggs is.
Yeah, I don't.
But
I don't know who that
I've
is
definitely
either.
heard of him, but I don't
Yeah.
know if I actually
Heard
know
of him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's a good one too. Um,
Mhm.
or the other one I almost put as my banner as well was when Walter Jr. he said something had some good comeback for him, and he goes hilarious Groucho.
His Groucho would not have been would not be the reference now if it was made. I don't think, but maybe who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah. Outdated references. There's a midlife crisis moment. All right, so I've got two things written down here. Um, one of them is reaching a point where the fight isn't worth it anymore. Like Walt is like freaking out and like, no, I'm standing my ground. I'm standing my ground. And then they have this all out brawling. He goes, screw it. Just come inside. I'll get you your money. And
Mhm.
after just freaking out that he dared to show himself anywhere near his house, he's letting him in. He's potentially
Yeah.
leaving blue footprints, and he's giving him half the money. And then the other one is getting to a point where you really don't give a crap about the judgmental looks other people are going to give you.
With Skylar, yeah.
With Skylar, everyone reaches that point. It's like, yeah, I don't care. You can shoot the daggers at me all you want. I'm gonna do what I need to do. So
Good call. I like that one.
LVP. I've got like 5 written down. No, 4. I've got 4 written down. So I'll let you go first.
Well, I had AAA Summit Plumbing because they also don't have an area code on their sticker on the front door. LVP could also be Walt is a teacher of driver's ed. That's one. The name Flynn, because the only person who should be called Flynn is Flynn Rider from Tangled.
There we go.
Yes, shout out to Tangled. But LVP probably is well, also Wino could be an LVP. LVP is meeting up at my true LVP is meeting up at a 7-Eleven wannabe store, talking this close to each other, and when a police officer comes up to go, okay, I told you I leave first. Just move over a couple feet. That is an LVP moment. Those are two rookies at their finest there.
Yeah. They still are learning what they're doing. None of what you said was any of the LVPs I had written down. So
Great. Good call.
Yeah. So my LVPs, we have Jesse's parents for one.
Yep, good call.
In-laws. because I
They can
mean
all have
it.
one.
But at the same time, it's kind of clutch that you could just claim in-laws, and it's like in-laws. Yeah, sorry, you got to go,
Maybe that
and
is a midlife crisis thing.
there is no arguing with that point. So that's a good one. Um, Barbed wire security fences. They did a whole lot of good. I mean,
Yeah,
Jesse
good
just kind
point.
of went for it. But the real LVPs of this episode are Chivo and Anthony, the other two members of Twat Hammer that seem to be completely MIA and are never heard from again. So
Mhm.
we got to get the hammer back up and running, man. We got to get in touch with Chivo and Anthony. It's like
Who is it? Who is Chivo? Who's Anthony?
Chivo, Chivo. That's a great name. Well, I mean, yeah, and we never hear it from them. I would love to hear from Chivo and Anthony.
Nice, that'd be cool.
Um,
If you know of them, please call.
Chivo, Anthony, Jesse, and Paul. That's a yeah, it's a good combo there.
Up there with the Beatles. Twat Hammer.
Exactly. All right, MVP. I'm gonna let you go first because there's no way you have my MVP.
Skylar. I'm putting her as my
Pretty
MVP
clutch.
for this episode because I think and it's just going to prove it. Walt's revealing the secret this season. She's going to have to know at some point. And that's my guess is that
Okay.
she gets told because what does he believe that she can't believe his BS for that much longer, right? She's done.
Well, she doesn't believe it right now.
Yeah, she doesn't. She did believe it. Smells funny. She doesn't believe it anymore.
Mhm.
That's what it is.
It's not bad. It's not bad. My MVP goes out to the last thing of Jesse's possessions that he has. After his bike is
Milk
stolen,
carton?
there is only one thing left behind.
Mm.
That damn bike lock. That's my MVP. It's the only thing that's left. You know, the murder weapon. That's the only thing that is left of Jesse's possessions is the bike lock that killed Crazy 8.
Holy cow. My mind is blown. I didn't even put two and two together. Holy cow. I love that.
I mean, it's an LVP because it broke pretty easily, but it didn't break on Crazy 8. So
Some good bold
MVP
cards.
to Jesse's last possession, the murder weapon bike lock.
The murder weapon bike lock. MVP of the episode, Terry coming up clutch. Heck yeah.
All right. Well, while Adam continues to ponder what he thinks is going to happen next, let's review our count here. Our Walter White body count remains the same at 2 drug dealers, a car, a custodian's career, a drug dealer's hideout, a lock, and an uneaten burrito. The Jesse ass kicked count, we are moving up to 4. I don't know. Maybe it should be 3 and 3.1. I don't know if getting slapped in the face by your mom is really an ass kick count, but we'll go with
But,
it. We'll say it's 4. We'll
but
say
he
it's 4.
also he hurt his hand with slamming the phone down, and then with one hand, and then he punched the telephone booth with another hand. So I think he hurt both of his hands.
So the collective episode, I mean,
I think
he kind of has an emotional ass kick in this episode.
I'm
so.
kicking my ass, mind.
Exactly. That's kind of the deal here. I like the shout out there. All right. Well, what's coming next?
All right. Well, I don't know. It says methyl. Yeah, it just feels
Methylamine?
cool. Methylamine. Yes. I was pretending to be Clovis. No, I'm joking. Methylamine.
Yeah.
That somebody's coming. That call was important for some reason. That call, somebody's coming. The new big bad guy, the new Thanos of the universe is coming. Has to be. I think Skylar is going to have to know sometime. I think it's a pool explosion or something explodes into or around Walt's house. I'm thinking it's Walt's house because that's where the only one we've seen a pool so far. Yeah, so those are my big predictions is that something's going down at their house now. Okay. Do they go to a carnival to get that pink dog or I don't know, but who knows?
So it kind of feels like that this was like the fallout episode from everything that happened with Tuco. and now it feels like something new has to start out of this, right? It's like, okay, now we've reached the bottom. How are we going to build back up? And what's going to be the new thing that builds it back up? That's going to be the what we're
Yeah.
going to start in the next episode for sure.
Well, and one thing I did kind of think about too when Jesse was at the court, like the mediator's room, I thought that was going to be Saul Goodwin or Saul,
Oh,
whatever his last name is.
Saul
Saul
Goodman.
Good. Oh, dang it.
You were
I
very
spoke
close.
like,
You're
I
very
spoke like
close.
that in wine country.
Better call Saul.
Yeah,
We'll get there. We'll get
I
there.
thought that's where the intro
This
was going to
season.
be.
We'll get there this season.
Oh,
tell you
see,
that.
I did kind of say that. I think maybe I
Well,
didn't.
we
I don't
will
know.
get there this season.
Heck yeah.
So there's the one little spoiler I will give you is
Exciting.
we will have an appearance from Saul this season.
Okay, I gotcha.
All right. Well, I like where your head's at. You're thinking good. I like your thought process.
Okay, good.
And it's just gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. This already is fun. It's just gonna
It's gonna
continue to
take
be fun.
off a little bit. This just feels like it's not like a. It's definitely not. I wouldn't. It's not a filler episode, but it's like the calm before the storm. It's like, okay, now we put one chapter to rest, and now we're starting this new chapter, so we have to bridge the gap between the two chapters.
This is the wind down episode. Now we've got to wind back up to something else.
Exactly. So that's kind of what it feels like. But it's really dang solid though. I liked it. It's just probably out of all the episodes, I think this because it's the least exciting episode. The most exciting thing happened at the very end when they were yelling at each other. But definitely, it's a good character episode. So
See, now maybe this could have been like the if you think about like the Tuco finale thing being the season 1 finale, like is that the like this I mean it's episode 4, but you'd think this is more like an episode 2 of a season where the whole explanation of the fugue state would be how you open season 2. Like that could have been what they were hoping to open season 2 with.
Mhm.
And now you've because after you always have like a big opener to like wrap up what happened at the end of the season before,
Mhm.
and then you have then you have the mop up episode before you start what the next season's going to be about. That's kind of what it feels like where we're at.
I feel like if you throw this first episode of the season over to season 1, and that would be your ending when they're driving off. Like, what's going to happen next? You end up.
See, I don't even think that. I think Tuco getting taken out by Hank, that's the end of season 1.
Hmm. Oh, so the first 2 episodes should be combined or put. Yeah, that makes sense.
Or expanded because these are all the rest of it is 13 episode seasons, and the first season was 7. So I mean, if you take everything that happened in those last 2 episodes and expand it over 6, like that, you could have done a lot of fun stuff. Like if you think about Tuco was supposed to last a half a season, and he got like 4 episodes.
His story arc was not tight.
No, well, it was too tight.
Yeah.
It should have been. It could have been a lot better though.
Could be a lot better.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the endless possibilities for myself, the fun possibilities of what I could say next wrong is even better for you. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what episode 5 does bring. Hopefully some big, more exciting topics to discuss here. And yeah, I don't really have anything else. I just want next week to be here faster. How about you?
This is fun catching it every week. I like that I can't binge it with doing it this way. It's kind of nice, just taking it little sips at a time.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess until next week, we'll put another episode of Breaking Bad's Breakdown to bed, and we will see you guys in the next sideshow. See you later.
Sit and spin.
Oh, I missed it. So much.
I've got a brand new beer here, and I wanted it to use it as my closer. You stay frosty, Albuquerque.
Nice. Yes. I love it.